13.
So you want to talk about the banks?
You mean about the bank failures? Is that what you're calling?
Yeah.
Sure. What do you got?
Does that make you nervous?
Absolutely. Did you see the stock market today?
It went down like what, 500 points?
500 points.
500 points. So what are you nervous? What makes you nervous about it?
That there's a mentality in this country that when these banks fuck up, we're going to bail them out. And we are bailing them out again.
Yeah, I saw that. I disagree with that. I agree that they should do. So here's what I agree with, right? So, the FDIC insures everybody up to 250 grand. But there are companies there that use that for payroll. So they might get they're floating $1 million or $2 or $5 million for payroll.
Right.
So I think all of them people should be covered. But it's the huge guys.
The investors.
The huge fucking dudes that come in there with a couple billion. You should not bail them people out.
They're done.
Ever in a million. And never, ever. But I will say this. I don't think it's something you should be worried about. Because back in 2008, you know how many banks collapsed?
I understand that.
141.
But here's the thing, too. Back there when the 141 went, all those assholes got severance pays. All of them got bonuses, and the same goddamn thing happened again at this collapse.
I agree.
They got their bonuses, they got their severance, and they rolled.
Yeah, they were selling.
So they took the money and run, and we got to pay for it.
Yeah, so
bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. So the top people in that bank, like the CEO of the bank and the people below it, they were all dumping stock for like the past 6 months.
Yeah, because they knew.
They did know. So
isn't that's against the law, isn't it? Inside trading information.
I don't know how that works because they work there and they get stock options. I have no idea.
Here's the thing too. If you work there and you were in a powerful position at a company, I don't think you should be able to own the stock in that company. And I don't think that congressmen should be able to own stock either.
I agree with that.
They can influence the market.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, like a lot of your big CEOs, they get like a salary plus stock options.
Right.
Because they want the stock value to go up.
But I understand that. But they also have prior knowledge than the general public that shit is going down the toilet.
Correct. So I do think that something should be done to those people who sold their stock.
It needs to be regulated.
And I think the main players who started yanking out their, I think it was like $45 billion.
They knew it was coming.
Well, I think the $45 billion, those investors who started yanking their money to make the bank fail.
Right.
Right. So here's my big question.
Go ahead.
So it was basically one dude. It was one guy who who told a couple of other people he was going to yank his money. And he did. Right. And then his friends did. So my question is,
why'd they yank it in the first place?
Why did he yank that money? Did he do it for what reason? To crash the bank? And if it was done on purposely to make that bank collapse, how is he going to profit from that? There's got to be something.
He did. Or maybe there was some underhandedness going on there, and he found out about it and yanked his shit.
Like these bankers are so crooked because of fractional banking.
Yes,
you know what fractional banking is, right?
Well, explain to them what
fractional banking means that they do not have to have all the cash on hand to invest.
That's exactly right.
Right? It's created money. So like if you have $1 billion, well, a certain percentage they can invest $10 billion.
Right.
And they don't even have the $10 billion. It's just created out of thin air. Right? So until they go back to a regular bank, we're going to keep having these problems over and over.
Okay, but explain what you mean by a regular bank.
Regular bank would mean if you have $1 billion in deposits, then you can utilize that $1 billion how you see fit, meaning you can buy bonds, you can give loans, you can, you have to have the cash in order to. So here's a great example. If you have a credit card.
I got you.
Or say you make $1,000. Right? You can't loan out $2,000 because you only got $1,000.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Same concept.
So if the equity's not there, you can't use it.
Correct. Right? And even if they own real estate or whatever, Yeah,
Sounds
and it
like
goes up.
Sounds like
you know?
student loans, Phil.
Yeah, it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, for them to allow that is just unbelievable. Because you know how it crashed, and I can tell you exactly how it crashed.
Go ahead, tell them.
So all these banks, they buy bonds.
Right.
They buy government issued bonds.
Bonds,
That's
right.
what they do. The bond market is like 10 times bigger than the stock market.
Yes.
So all these banks, they go and they buy these government backed bonds, and the ones they bought a while ago were 2% bonds. Right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So now bonds are like 4.5%.
Right.
So that bond they have now is junk. Nobody's going to buy that bond because the bonds now are 4%. I'll
Right.
just say 4%.
I got you.
Right? So who's going to buy a
For the
2%
sake of
bond
numbers.
when you can go to the government and get a 4%
Get
bond?
4%.
Why would you do that? Nobody's going to buy their bonds.
Uh-huh.
Right? So what happened was when that guy went to withdraw all those billions, him and that group, right? They had to sell their bonds at a loss to cover the withdrawals. So when that happened, they instantly became
liquidated.
Yep, instantly became insolvent. They couldn't make any of it.
Liquidated it.
Yep, and that's what he did.
Gone.
So the big question for me is, why did he do that? Why did that group of people do that?
I think we're going to find out.
There's a reason.
We're going to find out.
There's
we're
a reason.
going to find out. They didn't just pull their money for shits and giggles. There was something going on.
Yep.
Something was a red flag. These guys aren't dumb.
No.
They wouldn't be billionaires if they were dumb.
They're wicked
All
smart.
right, so they know their money, and they smelled something. They smelled something put, and they took action.
Yeah, or they were like, all right, let's collapse this one, because when we collapse this one might go up. So I'm going to move my money from here to here.
It
and
may.
in 6-7 months, I'll double my money.
Yeah, but that's
Do you know what
that's
I mean?
a risk in itself, though, too, for
But
real.
they're crazy people like that, man.
Then again, you got to look at the state of the world's in today, too. Look at all the fraud cases that have popped up over the years, just in the last few years, of people stealing money and just taking money. And
There's tons of them.
You know, these Ponzi schemes and empty promises with people's money. Don't you think people are a little gun shy, too?
You know what, though? This has nothing to do with like me and you and the middle class and the working people.
No, it's just
it is way beyond us. Like when you're playing with billions of dollars, like fun, like a casino.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it really is. It's
They act like they got a license to print money.
They do. Banks do now.
Well, but you're saying that should not be the case. We should get back to the old way of banking.
we should get back to the old way.
Back to the roots.
That's why all those banks failed. And and honestly, it makes our country stronger. It makes the banking system stronger. Do I think that these failures, because it's not just them, it was Signature Bank in New York, and it was one other, there was 3 banks. So it was SVB, Silicon Valley Bank,
there you go.
Signature Bank in New York failed, and then one other goofy-ass name bank failed. And then they have another 6 or 7 lined up that are not doing good.
Yeah, I don't think it's over yet.
No. So, and it's one of these things I'll tell everybody, if you want to put your money somewhere, you put it in your local credit unions in your own town. Yeah. That's where you put it.
I was going to ask you, Phil, are we getting back, are the banks is it getting so scary with the banks that we're going back to the grandma days of putting money in the sock drawer or under the mattress?
I will say this. It's not a bad idea to keep some cash at your house. It's not a bad idea to own a little bit of silver. And if you could afford gold, it's not a bad idea to hold gold.
Right.
It's never a bad idea because if you hold gold,
because of the condition of the dollar, for that matter.
Yes. So, I'll tell people, just like I tell everybody, because like I do this for fun. So I like macroeconomics. I did it in college, and I just do it. I like it for fun.
Okay.
Like any of the financial news, I've been doing it for years, and I've followed it for years, and I like it. I enjoy it. I don't know why, but I do. Watching people, how they move their money, where it goes, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
How the GDP is versus the stock market versus the debt versus, I enjoy that. So if you're an average person like we are, take your money, put it in a local credit union, and they have them. Like if you work for the state, you can put it in a state credit union.
Well, you don't even have to work for the state for them anymore.
No, you can put it in a local credit union in your town, but do not use big banks. Because your local credit union is solid. You want to know why?
Yeah, they are solid.
Because they're doing mortgage loans, auto loans.
Local loans.
Local loans.
Yeah, these Chase Manhattans and all these big these big wigs,
Yeah,
I'd probably
they're
steal
not
it.
doing any of that.
It's time to get away.
So, like,
from
I
that.
even considered, like, at one point they were offering CDs. You know what a CD is,
Yeah.
right? Certificate of deposit.
Right.
You know, for a long time they were like below 1%. Well,
Right.
now they're running 5,
It's
4.5.
at your credit unions.
Yeah, 4.5
Right.
at your credit unions, or 4.
Yeah.
You know, and then you look online at like Capital One's running 5.5.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I ain't giving Capital One my money. You know, I don't want to give anyone in a
Right.
big bank my money. I'd rather take, 2% less to know that at least the bank I'm using is not going to fucking fail.
It's not going to fold.
You know what I mean? Like,
'Cause well, yeah. I mean, you could be shit out of luck, depending on how much your investments are. And what
yeah,
you got
right.
in there.
So, but it doesn't matter. Like, so me and you, $1,000 is a lot of money.
It is.
Guy with $1 million, 25,000 or 100 grand to him
to our thousand.
yeah, it's like his $1,000.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
To our thousand.
So we all have there's just different levels, but we all really care about what the hell it is we have.
Well,
Doesn't matter how much.
Well, it all, that falls under lifestyle too. You know, the millionaire doesn't live like I do. He lives a lot better. But I understand my 1,000 is equal to his 25,000.
Well, yeah, you can't. But here's the thing too with that: you can't think that millionaire paid cash for everything because he's got loans just like you do. The only difference is they're a lot fucking bigger.
Well, he's probably got $1 million in the bank and ain't none of that coming out because he's living off that $1 million in the bank. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Oh, not with
the
the
perks.
Well, I get what you're saying.
For the sake of numbers.
Yes, for sake of numbers, we'll
All
say
right,
yes.
10 million.
Yeah, it'd take 10 million.
And the 10 million to be in there, and there ain't none of that 10 million coming out, but he's living high on the hog.
Yes, right.
Just probably in interest.
Yeah, he could.
And perks.
Yeah.
Because everybody likes a millionaire.
Yeah, he got that fuck you money.
Everybody likes a millionaire.
I mean, that's fuck you money.
How you do?
It's fuck
you know
you
what
money.
I'm saying?
It is. It is fuck you money.
And he still got his 10 million. Yeah, exactly.
But you still think of it this way though: the guy with the 10 million and the guy who only has $1,000, right? They still care equally about that.
Absolutely.
Right? They still
he
care.
might not give a shit about the 1,000, but it'll be his 25. He gives a shit about
but he
that
still
25.
cares. He still
With me,
cares.
I'd give a shit about that.
Yeah, right.
Oh my,
about
that
$1,000.
hurts. That punches.
Right. So
$1,000 hits hard.
right. So I think that he should. Yeah, if you're an average person, you got me going, dude. So if you're an average person, you should definitely use your local bank. You have no business going and using one of them big ass ones. You know what I mean? Don't do it. Don't do it.
Absolutely.
Hey, townies, my name's Philip, and you're watching The Mountain City Show. Hey, if you could, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. And don't forget to click the bell.
The bell?
Yeah.
What's the bell?
Bell notifies them every time we have a new video. So make sure you click the bell.
It's free, cost you nothing. Thanks, everybody.